Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I know this is um a very early morning live stream, and I'm going to continue with it regardless if anybody joins me, and hopefully when everybody wakes up at their respective or different times. So yeah, I hope when everybody wake up at their different and respective times, they can all user can watch again. I was going to do this live stream yesterday, but it was quite late by the time I returned back from work, and hence why I'm bringing it very early today. And also, I won't have a vlogmas today, so I intend on sharing two live streams, and hopefully that will be that will cover for lack of vlogmas. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick introduction of myself and then we shall get started. So, hello, and welcome. My name is Wemimo, and I'm also known as Thatmumof5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. So, good morning if you are joining me, and please like the live stream as you've come in. So we are here to discuss the controversial Nigerian pastor named Tobi Adegboyega, and I didn't even know it was related to the guy in the was it the what movie was that? Is it Star Wars or whatever movie it was in? Um, so not until obviously this news came out, and sorry guys, I'm looking for something. So not until this news came out, and yes, so the purpose of this live stream is to discuss um the interview he had with BBC yesterday, or no, the interview that BBC shared. I watched it last night. It was about a 5 minute long interview, and I'm hoping to play that with you all this morning. And also, Daddy Freeze also interviewed this guy, is it the controversial pastor. We all know that Daddy Freeze and this man, they are pals, right? They are paddy, they are pals. So anyway, from let's address the things he mentioned in Daddy Freeze's live stream, and I'm going to address those things one after the other. So apparently I didn't take note of the questions that the Freeze asked him, but I was more like his response and how I felt about the response. So if you have time, if you're really watching, I mean, if you watch that the Freeze and you want to go watch him to hear what he has to say, feel free to go do so. But obviously, from what I deduced from that interview with Daddy Freeze, my notes were: one, it was throwing shade at people on social media, especially YouTubers, and I am a YouTuber as well. Did it pain me? Not at all, because at the end of the day, there's been issues with this church since I believe 2019. There's been, Panorama, BBC, so many, news agents, social media, even on social media on YouTube, who have, discussed this guy and his church. And up until now, he has not actually come out to address any of those claims in any of the videos or interviews that were done by those channels and stuff like that. So it was pretty much like you don't believe whatever YouTubers say, that YouTubers don't know what they're talking about, and people on YouTube has no name. They just want to make $50 to feed a village. But at least people on YouTube have a source of income. People watching them know that if they watch YouTubers, they will gain revenue by watching them. And yes, on YouTube, the amount of thousands of views you get on your video is how YouTube pays you. But at least People on YouTube who are making that $50 to feed a village, they have a source, they have a legit source of income. But Pastor Toby, show us, show the world your source of income. Because in this case, when I finished watching that his interview, accountability and transparency is one big issue people in high places in Africa, most especially Nigeria, it's what they struggle with. And I don't understand why you will struggle with giving account of what you do or you are doing, being transparent with it, be open. If you know you don't have anything to hide in your baggage, I mean, put it bare on the table out there. And I know there are some people who are involved in shady businesses, whom no matter how the authorities go into their businesses, they just can't find the bottom of what they do. But in this instance, you are a pastor, right? And I would believe that in your teachings, in your morale, you should understand the importance of being accountable, of being of that accountability and being transparent in all you do. But if you lack those two values, if you lack those two qualities, trust me, you are a fall man, man. You're already falling. So he also continued by saying low life questions are being asked. That YouTubers are asking low life questions. And I'm going to say that your friend Daddy Freeze is a YouTuber. So I would believe that he's also part of the low lives on YouTube. Because it started by saying that the freeze is intelligent, is smart, is blah 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. That the freeze is old past you. That the freeze is how old, 50 something, and he's a learned man. He's worked in radio before, so he knows all the tactics of playing the smart guy. He knows all the tactics of no matter how people on social media are being castigated or being dragged, he knows how to remove himself. He knows how to do that. So if you're now saying people on YouTube are asking low life questions, I want to believe your friend that the Freeze is one of them. Okay. And one thing that actually got me laughing was this comment that said the only people it would answer their question are people with names, who has names, affluent names, who have resources, that is money, ego. So it's not talking to people who has no money. So he only talks with people with names, resources, history, and funds. Resources and funds, those are the people it would answer their questions. And I was like, well, Daddy Freeze is a YouTuber. So as Daddy Freeze got the funds, the resources, the history, and what name has Daddy Freeze got? Obviously, Daddy Freeze has a name of, obviously he's been in radio, he's been a presenter for years and stuff like that. And yes, I would say that Freeze is also a controversial pastor slash presenter or YouTuber or social media man, because it's been most of his shows involves, if he's not talking about women going after men or women doing one thing or the other, and him inviting guests onto his show to talk about don't bring your wife abroad, don't do this for your wife, don't send your wife, all those kind of controversial and so insensitive, or yeah, mean being insensitive as to regard that women are also human beings. So he also said that, and also he kept talking about Africans, 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 Nigerians. And I'm like, why are you making this shit you put yourself into about Nigerians? Like, you are in the UK. It is the authorities in the UK that are dragging you. And Nigerians abroad, I don't know the population or the percentage of Nigerians abroad who are actually interested in this guy's case or even want to drag him. So I don't understand why he's making it about Nigerians, Africa. Anything he says, Africa, Africans, Africans, Africans should be proud of him. Like, seriously, man? Africans should be proud of you? How? Maybe if you start by showing the public, the entire world, how you're able to raise the funds you spend on exotic cars, jewelries, all these things that you do. And obviously, from the previous interview you did, it was like he's living off the income of his wife, which is a six-figure salary. Like, man, people in the abroad, this is why some men abroad will not work. If a older pastor, a 44-year-old man who calls himself a pastor, says he's feeding off from the income of his wife, what does that make this guy? Is it Daddy Mosho or Babandagbe, or how do they call it? So your wife is the one bringing in the money, and you are flashing, strutting in designer outwears, showcasing jewelries, dashing people. Is it from the income of your wife that you're able to buy all those jewelries? And that some of those jewelries was the one part of them that you dashed Davido. The designer handbag you bought from Chema, was that also derived from the income that your wife is generating or was generating from her job? Come off it, man. You can't lie to us. And in as much as I want to be open about what he has been accused of, when you look at his body languages as well, the way he talks is very, very insultive. Some of the words he used as a pastor, even that the phrase that calls himself pastor, you see that phrase, the way that phrase will shake me, the way that phrase will curse you on his page if you give him or if you drop him a comment that he does not like. So let's move on from that. With that being said, Pastor Toby, you are not the first pastor that has been dragged in the world, and you will not be the last. The likes of Oyedepo, Baba Adegboyega, all of these pastors in Nigeria, they drag them 247, and your friend that the phrase is one of the people that drags them. The likes of, if I'm just going to start an example of a very popular one, where he said to his members that his members should not watch TV, blah blah. And for years, we all know that denomination, they claim not to watch TV. But then this Baba came out, was it last year or this year, to say he was wrong and that people can watch TV, his members can watch TV. So many instances like that. Another example was Baba Adeboye when he said that he preached to say that if you don't pay tithe, you won't enter heaven. People drag Baba Adeboye. They dragged him like, that is, you said if you don't pay tithe, we won't hear enter heaven and stuff like that. So you're not going to be you're not the first person that is being dragged, and you're not going to be the last. And would this be the last episode of you being dragged? No, because you're still going to, as long as you remain transparent, as long as you remain transparent. And also, this interview with BBC, we are going to play that at some point. This is not the first time that BBC has granted an interview with him, and he claimed that interview was 1 hour long, but BBC only shared about 5 minutes 20 seconds of that video, of that interview. And he said BBC should show improve of all the allegations. And guys, I have watched almost 20 videos on YouTube dating back from 2019 to now, of all the allegations that has been made against this man's church, his Park Nation Church, and I believe that church has been closed down now. So he's asking BBC to show improve of those allegations. Those people who came to say he put them in a whatever house they call it, that at some point, and people who allege that it was asking them to bring their salaries, people who allege that it was telling them to go and sell their blood for money, people who allege that he was asking them to go, into benefit fraud and stuff. Like I said, BBC should bring in proof. It went as far as saying that BBC allegedly paid those people £40 to attend that interview. And I was like, eh? In fact, it did not even allege. He said it with his chest that BBC paid those people they interviewed, the panorama and stuff, that BBC paid them £50 or £40 to attend that interview. And I was like, £40 to put their lives on the line like that? When you tell us that the people in your church are gang members that you are taking off the streets, coming out, we know all these people that are on the street, they can do and undo. And for the fact that you think that you've gotten the spirit of gang out of their body, how are you certain that you've got the spirit of gang or whatever out of their body? How certain are you? So those people that are now being questioned and interviewed by BBC, you think they'll put their lives at risk by coming out for £50? What would £50 do? £50 does not even fill my car fuel every month. So they will not put their life on the line, on the street, or in the hands of what if anything happens to them, and take £50. Like, make it make sense, Pastor TB. Well, I said Pastor TB, Pastor Pete or whatever. I don't even want to call him pastor because I'm like, you're just a couple of years older than I am. I should not be calling you pastor. And by the way, you said you are a pastor. What school of theology did you attend? Who are your spiritual fathers? Because yes, I know Nigerian pastors, majority of them have spiritual fathers, right? So he also went on to say that that there has no deportation order whatsoever has been served to him. That's what he told us. And Telegraph was the newspaper that shared that story. And Telegraph is a reputable UK newspaper, not Nigerian newspaper. So if it were to be a Nigerian newspaper now, we'll say maybe it's one hungry reporter that wrote it, right? But this is a UK, like, the in that newspaper alone cost about maybe £3 something. And I know people buy, no be ordinary people, they buy Telegraph newspaper for UK. I used to work in a supermarket, and when we sell newspapers, I know those who buy some newspaper for like maybe then some newspaper for like maybe 70 pence. Telegraph, since I was working in retail, Telegraph cost about £1.50, and that was the last time I worked in retail was in 2016. So Telegraph is not a cheap newspaper that you buy. In fact, to read Telegraph news online, you have to subscribe to and pay to read the news. So Telegraph is a reputable newspaper agency that broke that news. So he's now saying that no deportation order has been given to him or to his lawyer. So nobody is asking him to leave the UK yet. He also, like I said, he also addressed that Nigerians, that he is not an artist, that he is not streaming any music for Nigerians to listen to, that he is not Nigerian government, that why are people on his case. Just like I said, that, you know what, he is not the first pastor to be dragged, and he's not going to be the last pastor. And maybe, just maybe, if you're being transparent and be accountable for your actions, then maybe people will make it will make sense that, okay, there's no need to drag this pastor, because with the way he does things and the way he's been acting is actually setting himself more, I mean, setting himself up more for further dragging. Yes. And like I said in my first live stream I did about this story, I said that no matter how the UK people want to drag this case, this guy is not going to go anywhere. They'll keep appealing, 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 appeal and appeal till one of his daughters will get married and have babies. And then they will just at some point have to either, allow him stay at some point, or grant him whatever he wants to apply for. So he claims that even amidst the fact that Nigerians are not being proud of him, that there are countries, that there are big people in different countries that said that Spark Nation should come to their countries. That his church is trying to help with the two-sided thingy issues in the UK. Like, police are in the UK, police are not a joke. We know how seriously police take these things. So you now saying that your church is bringing these people off the streets, which means that the police who are trained in terms of intelligence, in terms of how to source these people out, you're now saying that they do not know anything. You that you came into this country in 2015, and you're now saying that all the work of the police involving gangs, that they don't know what they are doing, right? They don't know what they are doing. But then all of these people that have come out with these allegations, he said in that interview that he set up his own panel. And my question is, you set up your own panel. What did your panel found out about those people making the allegation? Yes, they've left, and they left your church or they left Spark Nation for a reason. So why did they leave? What did your panel found out when you set up your panel, when those allegations? You just kept quiet, like it will blow over. That was what you did. Because if you're really concerned about those people who made those allegations, and you're certainly clear that you've got nothing to hide, that you've got your church and your perspective and your beliefs have got nothing to hide when it comes to this issue of the allegations that have been made against you and your church, then you will have come out and say, well, this was what my panel found out. This was what we detailed. And it was like, we've actually cajoled people to come out and talk. They would not talk because most of them alleged that when these things were happening, they were practically speaking and calling your name. That these people who are approaching them to do things were saying that, oh, Pastor PT, we did this, PT, we that, PT did this. And even yourself, you said that it's the normal thing for people to pay tithe or whatever, £1,000 a month. Like, how much is the average salary of a standard citizen in London? £1,000 alone is not even enough to pay rent, and you're expecting such people who attend your church to pay £1,000 a month as offering? Like, come off it, man. Come off it. Maybe Oyinbo people, Oyinbo people, maybe Oyinbo people can pay that, but it is not Oyinbo people that are coming into your church. Majority of your church members are of the black minority group. So where did you expect them to get 1,000 plus £1,000 monthly to pay offering? Guys, if I'm making sense, let me know in the comment section. I know it's a very early live stream, so if you guys are not commenting, that's fine. Please like the live stream. So he also claims that he said that if he eventually goes back to Nigeria, he said he would arrive as a Calvary, that people will follow him like Eddie Murphy coming from America or coming into America. That was what he said, that he's going to come and he's going to pepper everybody, and if anybody that is not happy with his peppering, they should go and hug Transformer. That was coming from a pastor. that was coming from a pastor. If people are not happy with him, if he comes or whatever he does, they should go and org transformer. That was what he said. For me, I don't have any issues with this church because I don't attend that church. And like I said, I won't even regard this church as a Pentecostal church. I won't, because this was someone where a video was showcased. Hello, Obeangeli, good morning, my baby. Yeah, it's a very early live stream. Yes, I've got two live streams to do today, so that's why I'm out here, and I've got an appointment later on. So I won't even regard his church as a Pentecostal church, because this was someone who an interview was released, who was like, who is God? Who is Jesus? You want to debate with me? That's coming from a pastor. That came from a pastor. And I'm out here. I'm not God. I'm not going to judge you. But the people who are involved in these things, who have made allegations about it, they are people's children. They are people's husbands. They are people's wives. And for them to have come out, they can't just make up that story, because it's making it look as if it is political. Like, who wants to drag your case, or who wants to take Spark Nation off you? Because it's making it look as if we should support our own. Like, Pastor PT, you are not my own. You are not my own. And it is when people do wrongs, we should call them out. And when they do good, we should call them out as well for watch. No worries, Obiageli. We should call them out and let the world know of what they do. And I was just like, if you do give away, so people will chop your money, call them out, and if they want to deny you, they will still deny you. Now, so Judas denied Jesus now. Jesus fed Judas to the last minute, and what did Judas did? He betrayed Jesus. So you saying that people are not supporting you being their own, that is a slap in the face, that Nigerian people are just looking for right. Come, it's not about Nigerians. You are being, all of these allegations you're facing, it's in the UK. And if pastors in Nigeria can be dragged, if Daddy Freeze, your friend, can drag pastors in Nigeria, then who the hell are you to not be dragged? Then who are you to complain that you're not going to talk to people, that if they don't like what you did, they should go and hug Transformer? Like, seriously? So let's move on. He also claims that black people are being belittled, and the black people and the black race are being belittled. Come off it. It is black people that attends your church. A mix of black, white, almost all population attend your church. And from the interviews I watch, is a mix of black people, white people, maybe Caucasian people that attend your church. And some of them were in that interview by BBC. So you're claiming now that they were paid to come say that thing against you. Who were those people who paid them? So the MP that came up with this story, people reported all these issues to their local MP, and this local MP gathered all the information and took it to the House of Parliament, and that was how investigation started. So far, PT is telling us that no criminal issues have been brought against him. The allegation of 1 point something billion pounds, that nothing has been brought against him. So the newspaper that released that news now lied, and they tell Abby. Let's move on. So it was like we should support our own person because he's a black person, he's an African, he's a Nigerian, so Nigerians should support him. That he goes on to, he kept on talking about his charitable works, about a guy that was jailed, and how, people were like, prison in the UK is full. And people were like, oh, how did they jail? How did they release that guy? That he went to prison, he took this person home, and, he was able to put, touch the guy up and, made a U-turn of his life. He went on talking about how he was able to stop several related gang issues in London, issues that police have not been able to solve for years, that those were the things he's been doing. And come, like I said, Oyibo people, yes, they're happy about charitable work, do charitable, but if there's something, just a tiny thing like this that you're doing wrong, all of those charitable work you've done, it means nothing to them, regardless of your race. It means nothing to them. Yeah, it's good to do charity. Obviously, you want to mimic Jesus Christ, right? Give to your neighbor, this, that. Even when you give to your neighbor, the other arm should not know. But in your own case, yeah, you do this, and I think I've been on your show once where he appointed Daddy Freeze to select maybe how many businesses in Nigeria. I was going to set them up. I was going to give them funds, like. And also, he also said that if Panorama, I don't know, I think Panorama worked with BBC, that if Panorama could bring one evidence of all of those allegations brought against him. Good morning, Adebimpe. How are you? Yes, so I am live. I was going to do this live stream yesterday, but I worked till 8 o'clock last night, and my shift last night was very, very good until the last hour. I had a shitty I had a shitty shift in the last hour to finish, but I'm fine. So it was too late and I was not in a good mood last night. That's why I didn't do this live stream. So I just want to quickly do it this morning and then we will do the next one later tonight. So thanks for joining. So it said that if BBC Panorama could bring one evidence of those allegations that were made against him, he said he would resign, he would apologize and leave the UK. Please, BBC Panorama, bring evidence. Bring evidence. And I believe that all of those people who came out here in that interview to say those things about him, about the things that were happening in his church, they can't just wake up. Like, there's a particular lady who was caught in the benefit fraud and he is paying back. The DWP or the HMRC said she's owing them and she's being investigated and she's to pay that money back, and they find her. I think they find her £500 on top of the money they paid her. So she's paying this debt back. If we really want to invest, obviously information like that would not be released by HMRC or DWP because it will breach confidentiality and privacy in regards to information data, I mean information protection and stuff like that. So they won't release such information. But if BBC is carrying a news and they are bringing these people to the public, these people are on the screen and saying that this is what was done, this was what they were told to do. They were the women, some of the women were alleged that they were told to go use their bodies to make money. Some of them alleged that they were told to go sell their RBC to make money. Come off it now. So you also, you kept trashing Nigerians, saying that Nigerians need Christmas rice, they need giveaway, and that rising Nigerians will find out the truth no matter what their parents tell them. Like me, that I'm finding out about this story now. I did not know the full detail of this story about this pastor till a few weeks ago. Nobody told me anything. And the people that are watching now, I don't want to believe anybody told them anything. Obviously, this news came out, and then people have started going back to go carry out their own research. And like I said, there's videos dating back from 2019, from when this issue with this church and this pastor started. So my parents have not told me anything. I am not telling my children anything about this church. But as a parent, I have opened my brain that my children will not just go to any church. Was it not a few days ago I was on election? I was like, you know what? Nowadays my kids don't want to go to my church anymore because there's a certain church here in Glasgow. I can't remember what it's called now. They know they drew all these R&B gospel songs. And most of the African children that I know here who are young adults, that is the church they go where they can dress half naked, they can do whatever. And I don't want my children attending such church. It's not about dressing or being free. But then if you're a young adult and your parents are trying to raise you up, I really want to know how your spirit is being blessed in that church you're going to. It's not about pop music or pop gospel music in a church. It's not about you dressing half naked. It's not about you going on several trips with that church. No. So, and then I was watching a lady on YouTube this morning. I think she's in Real Talk with Auntie Adoni. There was a voice record of a father who claimed that what this pastor's church has done to his son, it actually turns his son to an atheist who does not believe in God. Who obviously, the man being a pastor himself, through prayer and motivation and talks, he was able to talk to his son, who is now grown and married and left the UK to go live in Dubai. That this guy at some point he refused to go to uni, he refused to purchase a career of his own, that he claimed that he wanted to be a pastor, and allegedly Pastor Toby was his pastor in Christ or something. And after so many years, obviously what you intended to get from wanting to be a pastor was not what he expected. And at some point, as from that father's talk, it was God that saved his son, because like I said, he wasted maybe 5 or 6 years of his life following this church, only to realize that, oh, this was not really, obviously being having a father who is a pastor himself, he realized that, oh no, this is not what he wanted. So half of his life, I mean a quarter or a fraction of his life wasted, when he could have gone to uni, build a career for himself. So many things went wrong. And this father was like, come, it's not about the charitable work you do, but the things the way lives are being ruined. Because at some point, from the video that Panorama did, there were cases of abuse. And this pastor is saying to us that he set up his own panel to investigate the allegations. So what did your panel find out? I know you will not answer my question, because you said people on YouTube talking about our low lives. You said that because we don't have people on YouTube don't have names. You said that people on YouTube, we don't have resources, we don't have funds. So you're not going to answer this question. But then I hope those who have voices will be able to ask you the question like, what did your panel found out? And also, it was asked about the video of I already mentioned where it was like, who is Jesus and stuff like that, and then to his lifestyle. And in fact, let's listen to that BBC video now. Let's play that BBC video. So that's what I took from the interview he did with Daddy Freeze. So let's listen to that BBC interview. Because the lady grilled him, and in my own opinion, I felt he derailed from answering those questions he was asked. He was just saying something else. That's why I said his interview with Daddy Freeze was a fluff. Because his friend started by saying, "Oh, I love your body language." Body language, that means you were allegedly coached that pastor. You coached him. Because how can the first thing you said when he came up was like, "Oh, I love your body language"? Yes, he could. If you hear that pastor talk, Pastor Toby talk, he talks in a very meek and calm way. Don't let them use milk and calm way to eat your soup. So let's listen to this interview. Was carried out by BBC News, and the reporter was Tobi Adegboyega. So I'm going to talk through this video because I don't want it to be copyrighted, okay?
Right. What are your next steps? Are you going to attempt to fight deportation? Well, there is no deportation order.
No deportation order.
I need to make that clear.
He needs to make that clear to us.
The next step is already done, meaning that there's a case in court already. There is, it's an ongoing issue.
It's an ongoing issue.
On a visitor's visa in 2005. Yeah. And attempted to regularize your status in 2015 or 16 before applying for...
I mean, you entered the UK in 2005, and as of 2015-16, what were you thinking? Obviously, on a normal day, you've overstayed. So anybody, if it was the era that police were still raiding people in the UK, on a normal day, years ago, when you are working, police can just stop you and ask you to ask of your ID. If it was those times, they will have packed this guy and shipped him back to Nigeria. So he entered in 2005. And it's just like me, we practically entered the UK at the same time. And me, I've been regularized in the UK for the past 10 years, and this pastor has not. And he's gone on to get married, he's got children, and he has not regularized himself. And he came into the UK as a 25-year-old man, even though he said he was a boy. Let's keep listening.
Leave to remain in 2019. Yeah. Some people might ask why you waited so long to try to regularize your status, especially given that you're a high-profile person. Yeah. Because essentially that means that you've been in the UK all this time unlawfully. I was just a regular person.
He said he was just a regular person. Do you guys believe he was just a regular person?
Helping people in Peckham, Queens Road, Peckham.
No, so he's not answering the question, right? He had all the time. He entered in 2005, and up until that time, what stopped you from actually regularizing yourself? If it means maybe going back to Nigeria and applying through the right passport, through the right channel, or you've been married, I'm sure there's a way you could settle yourself for the fact that you were married to a British woman. What stopped you? So he is saying that he's been busy helping people on the street of Peckham. That was not the question he was asked. Hence why when I watched this video, it deflected a lot.
Of course, I lost track of time. I came here as a...
Lost track of time. How many years, guys? How many years? It took me 4 years to regularize my stay in the UK. How many years?
Boy, 25-year-old boy dead.
Guys, he's 25-year-old a boy.
Uncles and family saying, this is sorted, we're doing it. Until I realized it's not done. Do you think that...
So, he claimed he came into the country as a 25-year-old boy. Man, you are a grown-ass man, man. You are not a boy. You are a grown... I came into this country when I was 20 years old. And I knew what I wanted from when I came in as a 20-year-old. But this man came into the UK as a 25-year-old man. And he had families who were already residing in the UK. Because you guys heard in their uncles and brothers said they were going to get this done until he realized it was not done.
Should be allowed to stay in this country, given that you have been here essentially unlawfully for close to 20 years. Well, the court and all the other processes will decide that. If you do...
So with that being said, it just reminded me of a couple of videos I've done on my channel, like a story of a Ghanaian man who came years ago. He's been here for almost 30 years and he did not regularize his stay. And the Home Office were like, no, they are not going to renew for him. He has to go back. It took the will of the public, the MPs to say, why? He's been here, he's paid taxes, he owns a shop and stuff like that. He has grown-up children. Why would you not renew for him? And for the fact that Home Office were going to renew for him, he needs to hear the amount they were charging. That video is on my channel if you've not watched. I think it was a Ghanaian man like that. That video is on my channel. You can watch that later on.
Lose the case and you are removed from the UK, right, will you move your organization to Nigeria?
Remember, he said with that question that David asked him the same thing. He said that if he goes to Nigeria, he will go in as a Calvary. Like people that would not like the way he will come in should go and hug Transformer. Let's hear what he has to say here.
It's impossible. My organization.
He said it is impossible, but he bragged on that if he's saying that if he goes back to Nigeria with his church, he will go as a Calvary.
It's here. My organization is everywhere, and to move it to anywhere else means leave people to keep killing themselves.
One thing I want you guys to understand is this is going on about the fight that of how he has helped the gang community in the UK. So people who go into this gang thing in the UK, they are not just doing it for being in the gang. Most of them, you see them wear designer outfits, expensive stuff. And this pastor is wearing expensive designer stuff. What kind of ethics, what kind of teachings is he going to give them? So you're telling them, put your knives away, put your gun away, don't go on the street to fight anymore, don't sell powder, come follow me. And you are dressed lavishly. Why do you think they are going into this gang thing they do? With the fact that they are going into gang things, it is not just about being in that gang. There are other shady things they will do that the public, even me, I'm not aware of, but they are not just joining that gang for joining purposes. Obviously, a friend of theirs will have led them to because they saw the way that person is dressing up, or they saw the kind of car that person is driving, and they are being peer pressured into joining the group. And then before they know it, they got so deep in doing shitty things that they are not able to come out of it again. But you are coming out and saying that you are dragging these kids, like you're helping these kids get out of gangs and stuff like that, but you're portraying lavish lifestyle. Lavish lifestyle. And also, you remember the story of that 13-year-old boy we did a few days ago. His school found that he was coming into school with expensive stuff, multiple mobile phones. That was a 13-year-old boy. His parents did not give him those things. Where did he get them from? So those are the signs. And he is saying that he's helping getting gangs off the streets. Police are there. Police are there.
So no, we're not going to move the community or the movement. We're just going to establish more and find a way to do what we need to do.
I know you've said multiple times on social media, rightly, that you haven't faced any criminal charges.
Right.
But there have been a number of serious allegations made about your former church, SPAC Nation.
Okay.
In 2024, the Charity Commission did publish their inquiry report, right, and they said that there were incidences of serious misconduct and mismanagement when it comes to safeguarding and financial transparency.
Exactly. Transparency is the problem here.
False.
So it said it is the false. The Charity Commission is registered, is recognized by the UK. I'm going to show you there. That's their website there. So they are not just any organization coming out to say, oh, you did this, you did this. Hence why there was a time also I was going to blow the bubble of a charity here in the UK who was calling and said Mama Ariella or something. People reached out to me saying how she's coercing, using WhatsApp groups to ask people to donate funds. So she has multiple WhatsApp groups in different cities. So she has people that she meets up with and they form a WhatsApp group. And then there's a group for if you're finding a job, if you're with that WhatsApp group, you pay a certain amount every month or yearly. If you're in a singles group and you're looking for a wife, you pay a certain amount of money to be in that group to be able to find a partner. And if you're looking for a childminder for your children, if you go to work, there's a certain like multiple groups. So you can imagine if good morning Vivi, you can imagine if that was me. I am single, a single parent, I've got children, so I'll probably be in a couple of groups and I'll be paying monthly. Like, make it make sense. And you call yourself a charitable organization, make it make sense. How are you charitable? How are you charitable? But I didn't bring full details of that video here because the people who were giving me the information, they were not willing to come out with all the full details, and because it's also associated with certificate of sponsorship fraud. Because I found out that the people who are bringing the story to me, they were like the intermediary between the people who are doing the fake COS for them and the people who are collecting. So obviously, some of those WhatsApp group, there's somebody who has affiliated a person with this lady. Hello, Hannah. There's another person who has associated with this person with this lady. So she now went into the group to go and catfish some people who she knows are desperate for COS. Oh, if you are interested in COS in this group, reach me on my number. So people who are desperate, obviously, when they were like, oh, serving the sponsorship, they quickly started messaging her. So she practically joined that group belonging to this other woman that was going to come blow her bubble here to catfish people who are desperate for COS. And then she made millions of money. Millions of money. In fact, two of the people who paid for COS from Nigeria passed away. They died because when they realized that no COS, no visa, no nothing, two of them died. That's two people's blood on their hands. When I realized that these people are the intermediary, they are the ones who are collecting money and doing stuff, I was like, no, if you're not willing to bring me all the evidences you've got, I'm not going to come here and put this woman on the blast. And yes, she did a video that Tunde had not shared. Come and see how people were dragging her. And I'm sure these were people from the WhatsApp, multiple WhatsApp groups she has. They were dragging her. And yes, I made a video about her. She reported my video to YouTube that YouTube should bring it down because of fair use policy. And luckily, YouTube is not a platform that you can just come and want to come and do gra gra. YouTube said they did not say anything wrong with my video. And yes, when you put a copyright claim or a fair use policy claim on a video, YouTube will let you know who put that claim in. So it showed her name, her real name, Gadagba. And I was like, come, woman, don't try me. And if I really want to be biased, I would have brought that story. But because because the people who are bringing that story to that, they were not forthcoming with the full details. I was asking them now, who is this person? Because when I saw the chat that was sent to me, I was asking them that, who is this person? How is this person affiliated to her? What account is this? They were like, and I'm like, no, you guys, you just want to use me as your scapegoat. I'm not going to put this story out here if you're not going to be truthful to me. And then, yes, I realized that they are also intermediaries. They are the ones bringing the people for COS. They will collect money, collect their own share. And now that everything has now scattered now, they are now saying, and she did this to us, and people are calling us that they want their money. I'm like, well, go and meet the people you introduced to them now. So in a way, they used our group to scam people of certificate of sponsorship money. And like I tell you, this woman made millions of money. Millions of money. My little this Toby is a fraudster. It is so obvious. You know what, those videos, like I said, him saying that you don't know the truth is going to come out. Yes, the truth will come out eventually. And when the UK authority have time for your case, when they have time for your case, they will not tell you before you pack your bags. You actually pack your bags before they ask you to leave. But he was boasting on that free page saying that if they bring one evidence, he would resign, apologize, and leave the country. That was what he said on that free show. But on this live stream, on this BBC news that this lady presented, he said it was impossible for him to move his church. So let's keep listening.
Been on this thing for the past 4 years, so there are allegations.
So it's been dragging this case of back and forth for 4 years. There are allegations.
There are issues. Why is the police not involved? Why is nobody facing any inquiry? Why is there no inquiry?
But the charity commission
I love this lady.
Did say that there was serious mismanagement and misconduct.
So
that's a separate report. So with regard to that, what would you answer to what they said?
So that's what we're asking the Charity Commission now. What is the serious blah, blah, blah?
They already said that there's a serious allegation, and it's asking that what is the allegation they have against him. So I believe at some point the Charity Commission or the newspapers will come out with what the Charity Commission said in regards to what they found out. Yes, that was from what that lady said, that there's an issue. There's a serious allegation of mismanagement of fund and all of this, like, of all those things. I can't remember them off my head. So there's an issue there. And yes, police here, they are, in some cases, are very, very slow. And them being slow does not mean that they are not doing anything. They are just maybe watching you eagle eye. And when they sweep in on you, when they sweep, you know how they swept on that Obama? Do you all know how they swept on him? By the time they sweep in on you, your ancestors will not help you. Let's keep listening, because it's trying to say that this Charity Commission, that they have nothing against him, that it's nothing, that why are the police? Obviously, before he gets to the police, it will have passed through several stages. And once they are confident that that is what they have, then they'll forward it to the police, and then the police will do all of their findings as well. Does he know if the police are actually doing their own investigation or not? Let's leave it at that.
Can't just say there is a serious this and that. What is it, and who is going to answer for it?
You've spoken a lot about how many people you say you've helped, but then you do have these former members who have
former
come out
members
to
are
speak
coming
about
out.
the exploitation they feel
Exactly.
that they have experienced.
Right.
How do you reconcile your vision with what these people have said, because they're extremely different?
I just finished service today. Hundreds of young people.
Hundreds
Some
of,
of
you
them
kept
have
saying
been
that
here for
hundreds.
8 years.
It's not about the number. It's not about the number. It's what you are putting out there. It's what these people are alleging, because these people were part of these hundreds of people. See, all those hundreds of people that he's talking about now, if they go to interview each and every one of them, I'm sure they will have something to say. I am sure they would have something to say. Vivi said, with Toby's extremely flashy and expensive lifestyle, it's obvious that there's fraud, mismanagement of funds, a lot of funds for that man, a lot of funds. And he's saying that nothing has been investigated. That nothing has been investigated. At some point, everything, Mary Sugar, good morning. At some point, all of these things that he's saying are allegations. Everything, in fact, if after this session, go and search BBC Panorama and type this guy's name. You will see, I watched a full interview, 1 hour, 20 minutes or something. I was like, what? Really? And here's what part of what I'm going to say is this: learn to know God yourself. In a church where they are a church where they are telling you to bring your salary, before that, if you put all of your salary into the purse in church, that's when God will answer your prayer. You're on your own. You're on your own. So he keeps saying about hundreds of people. That's not what we're talking about. He's not said anything about those alleged allegations. He's not said anything about them.
Meaning being in the church 8 years, some 14 years. I've known some of them since I was 14. And
He's known some of the people in his church since when he was 14. How is that true? He told us he came into the UK when he was 25 years old. So as he has some sort of, in fact, let me rewind that place. That's why I know I heard very well.
some 14 years. I've known some of them since I was 14. Been here for 8 years, meaning being in the church 8 years. Some 14 years. I've known some of them since I was 14.
So I think what I intend to say there is that is obviously since the time he's been in the UK, obviously it's spanned over 14 years. So he's known some of these members for over 14 years. So him saying that since I was 14, like, Mr. Man, even with all of your demure, you are still committing statement blunder here.
And you need to hear what they are saying about the church. So please, for any reasonable human being who is not just victimizing anything they don't like, if you have 1,000 people.
Anna said, this reminds me of TB Joshua BBC. Exactly. To this day, TB Joshua still has followers. Pastor Toby still have followers no matter what. Exactly. You need to go and check under his page. People are like, oh, Pastor T, I love your composure. I love how calm you were talking. I'm like, really? Really? And his friend was like, when he was the people that he was giving giveaway, now they've deserted him. What's that? What has he said? According to him, he said, when Pastor Toby they do giveaway for my pay, that was that the phrase. All those who benefited home and abroad, you are quiet inside this saga. Now, so in our destiny, go quietness. Can you imagine? So because he's giving them money now, you expect them to come out and say what they don't know about him, or what is untrue, or what is unreal about him, just because it's giving them 1 million naira or 2 million naira. Like that, the phrase at times, being old at times, it's good to always use common sense. Because it's giving them money now they should not come out and say, he gave us money. But him giving people money, what has that got to do, or how has that helped with the allegations that has been leveled against him here in the UK?
In the place, are you telling me 30 people will not be disgruntled?
This is more than being disgruntled, though. These are serious allegations.
Exactly.
Fact. I've asked you if you have any fact. Situations happen, but there's no fact that the church was directly involved or that the church didn't take action if reported to.
So he's saying that it was not reported to, but then he said at some point that he set up a panel, and they were actually asking these people to come and talk to them about what they are alleging. And if you heard those people who talk or spoke on that BBC Panorama, they were like, people like, Pastor PT, and PT will want us to do this. PT will want us to do this. PT will want us to do this. And all these people were serious, intimate members of his Park Nation Church. So you being the leader of that church, they are bringing all the money into your purse. Are you not asking them how they're getting that money? Are you not asking them, or do you think that, all of a sudden the money came into their hands and they're bringing the money? So him saying that if reported to, you knew about all these allegations because you said yourself that you set up a panel asking these people to come speak to you about their concerns. That at some point you were like begging them to come, like, we have a panel, let us know. So you now saying that if it was reported, PT, it was reported, and you did not do anything. You think saying Nigeria you did. It was reported.
No one ever came to you or presented any of these allegations to you about
Not
financial
once.
exploitation?
You guys said, it said not one person came to report this allegation to him, which I find as a big lie. Like I said, when I was watching that BBC Panorama, a few, in fact, almost all the members were like, no, he knows, he knew. And there was a time where they're in a like a conference call or something where all the churches that came under him have branches. They are calling them different names. He knew.
Once we set up when we heard these things, we set up a panel of inquiry, independent
panel of inquiry. What did your inquiry found out?
Family or Spark Nation and we asked people to come forward if there is an issue.
But if there are multiple,
so he said if there was not an issue, why did you set up a panel? If you've not been listening or hearing what has been going on, why did you set up a panel? Because he is claiming that no one issue was reported to him. Hello, OJ, how are you? Vivi said it's because it's obviously lying. When you lie so much, you mixed. Exactly. No, I was watching this interview yesterday, and I was watching that the phrases. In fact, I slept off when I was watching that live stream. It was on live stream with that phrase yesterday. I slept up, and I have to continue from where I stopped this morning. I was like, come, this man is already contradicting himself. He was already contradicting himself. But let's finish this interview.
Allegations of wrongdoing within your organization, and you are the head of that organization.
Exactly, you be the one that will be held accountable.
The buck stops with you, and it's your responsibility to
exactly
weed this type of behavior out.
And
exactly,
you will be right. And we've set up many panels, and we've asked people publicly and privately to come forward if there are issues. Every organization has issues. The Catholic Church still has issues till tomorrow morning. Did you shut them down?
A lot has been said about the lifestyle that you portray. Designer clothes, lavish cars.
Exactly.
Some people would say that is slightly contradictory to Christian values of humility and modesty. Yeah. How would you answer that?
Well, I'm me, and I practice my own Christianity.
He practices. Pastor Pity, what are the aims, motion, or mission of your own Christianity? Because I don't know the kind of Christianity you practice. You guys heard him. They said he practices his own Christianity.
Community. Making sure that I don't stay within the four walls of a church and tell people about going to heaven. I put on what is right, what connects to the generation I'm speaking to, so that the
generation you're speaking to, the generation of today, how many of them are wearing designer outfits? How many of them are driving flashy cars? You know what, this guy is just he dressed according to what this generation are accustomed to. He dresses according to the people, the set of gang people he's taking off the street. He dresses according to what they would like to see. So now most of them will probably be looking up to him as a father figure, as a father in Christ. And then they want to, if you look at most of the people that are following, they're always either in suit, they're all suited up. So as time goes on now, they want to go and be driving flashy cars. Like, honestly,
I'm not
listen to him.
Drug dealers and rappers. Nothing wrong with rappers, but drug dealers. So
these people, like I said, other things that gang people do, they do powder business. So people in this church are people who are doing in GANG and GANG with all of the activities. So he's dressing the way most of them will dress. If you look at what most American movies now, any of the people that you see in the powder business, they always dress smart. You know, they dress flashy, they do this. So you are still kind of enticing them in a way, and you are trying to get them out of that society of gangs that you say you're trying to get them out of. But then, people, when they are in that ganging thing, they dress lavishly, they drive flashy cars, they wear heavy jewelries, and you are telling them to live that way of life, to come and meet you, and they are coming to you, and you are dressing exactly in the way of the life, or you're dressing in the way you expecting them to live behind. Like, Pastor Pity, make it make sense.
What they are looking for, they can find the hope of that in me.
So what the gang people are looking for, they can find the hope of that in him. So that was what he had to say there. And also, I think I already played this video. It's from this Isaac Fayoshe, the experience of his own son and his nephew in the hands of this pastor church. So we're going to listen to that video and then we'll round up, okay?
My son and my nephew's ugly experience at Pastor Toby's office, 56 IS Church.
Joyful Space said he was the one sending to do the crime. That how he getting his money? Exactly, like he's telling the public that he's living off the salary of his wife. How much is the salary of your wife? How much is the salary of your wife? and living in an 8-bedroom house and driving flashy multiple cars, dressing designers, gifting people jewelry, expensive jewelries, and your wife is happy with her hard-earned money she's spending and you are using it to gift people? Like, make it make sense, I beg. We're going to listen to this video and they will round up in about 5-6 minutes.
6, 7 years ago, they narrated everything. They sat me down for 3 hours 4 years ago to tell me what they went through, how they were forced to bring half of their salary, how they were put
Half
in
of their
a
salary.
mansion to tell them to brainwash them that this money you are bringing is for God, how they were forced to go and bring their friends and everybody to the church, so to tell them to do the same. It was a very funny and ugly experience for them that even my nephew up till today is still bitter about Pastor Toby.
Can you imagine?
He said, that my uncle, I not agree. They had a very nasty experience. When my son was younger, because all these British boys, I don't want him to join all this knife cartel and all that. I brought him home at 16 for him to be a bit rugged. But we have to let him go back after some time. So his cousin, which is my nephew, took him to Pastor Toby's church, and all the experience was ugly.
Can you hear that?
Pastor Toby is,
from a parent too.
UK doesn't tolerate that. Many pastors in Nigeria, if they are in UK, they will be in jail.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Back to Nigeria and
so that was what he had to say there. That's him sharing the experience of his own son. This is Isaac Fayoshe. That's him sharing the experience of his own son and his nephew about how disgruntled his own son and his nephews are. Joyful Space said he get them out and keep them there to himself so that they will be working for him. You heard him here. He said that they were being brainwashed in the mansion that he puts them. He's supposed to go to prison. Just like this man said here that Nigerian pastors, if they were ever in the UK practicing as pastors, most of them would be in jail. And it's true. It's true. He has another second video where he was quoting how much his source of income.
Pastor is living like whiskey. When a pastor is living like Bonner Boy lifestyle. Pastor's lifestyle. We like Bonner Boy. But we know where Bonner Boy money they come from.
Exactly.
We know where whiskey money they come from.
Exactly.
Where is pastor money
coming from? You should tell us.
So many people, emergency billionaire that we celebrate in this country. No track record.
Exactly.
Our children need to be safe. Government need to start sanitizing that sector, because Bible says we have to be careful the kind of thing we allow to enter our brain.
Absolutely.
It can confuse us.
Yes, sir.
We have to be careful people we give our heads to. A pastor living a lifestyle of whiskey and vulnerable. A pastor driving a Ferrari, Lamborghini,
and he does not have a job.
Without any industry, without any company. Abba.
Exactly. It's questionable.
To tell us.
It's questionable.
Shine your eyes.
Shine your eyes. Be smart.
Even God said, humble yourself.
Humble yourself.
God, he humbled himself. He came to the world, to earth, to save you and I. Anybody that is living lifestyle that is more than his income, I don't regard them.
Exactly. Same here.
People. May God save us.
Amen. Oh.
Amen.
Amen.
Come in peace. Oh.
So that's what that guy had to say there. So me, I guess when it was on when it was on that, I guess this was the guy he was throwing shades at, saying that I am not your music, I am not Nigerian music artist. You're not streaming my music. You're not doing that. So why should I blah 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 blah? All this kind of talks. All I'm just going to round up on this live stream is that learn to know God for yourself. And as a parent, no matter how grown up your children are, especially in the diaspora, you can't just leave them on their own. There's a reason why I'm still refusing my children from going to any other church apart from the church I go to. It's fine if you don't want to go with me on a certain Sunday, but saying you're going to another church, it's not going to happen. As long as you live under my roof, it's not going to happen. Parents need to be wise in diaspora. And these children, children this in their abroad, when they hear go, they don't hear come again. Especially when they see their mates are also in that same thing. They will they'll believe that they're in the right place. They'll believe they are doing the right thing, but then they are digging a digger grave for themselves. So parents, don't relent on your children, especially when it comes to religion. In as much as religion is like an age thing that has been in this world before I was even born, it's very, very important to know how that religion is actually contributing into your life. It's not somewhere that you go, you're being told to go use your body for work, you know. So learn to know God yourself, and as parents as well, learn to know what church your children are going to. It's not about just their friends alone, what church they are going into. Okay, if they decide that they want to go to another church, attend that church with them a few times. Just because you attend that church with them a few times does not mean that you are now a member of that church. Just because you want to be sure it's a very, very safe and conducive environment for your children to be. So, with that being said, this pastor now, like I said, he's just been complicating himself. Is God wanted to say boasting on his friend's page, and then he comes to BBC here. He's not even able to answer most of the questions. Like I said, that interview he had with BBC was a fluff. It was just going about everywhere. They've allegedly coached him on how to answer the question. So with that being said, like I said, when the investigation finally comes out, it will be nice if after all the investigation they realize that, oh, there's nothing to hold him for. Great. But cases in the court, and then you're coming here saying Nigerians. See, this case about it's not about Nigerians, and I'm going to say it again. Nobody you be the first pastor that Nigerians are dragging, and Nigerians will continue to drag pastors come till thy kingdom come. Lastly, learn to know God on your own. Okay, if you want to do charitable work in your church, do it because you're conducive. It's convenient for you to do. The church where I attend to, in fact, the church I attend right now, my pastor is the only church that I have been where there's something we do every month called family meeting. How money enters, you lays it bare. How money has been spent, he lays it bare. What needs to still be done, he lays it bare. Nobody's asking him to do that, but because he doesn't want anybody to come and rubbish him, saying that, oh, you're chopping money. No. And when he actually introduced that process, I was like, what's the purpose of this? Apparently, something similar has happened before in that church, before I started attending it, and before he came to that church. But since he came, it was like, no, every month we're going to do family meeting. This is the money that came into the church. This was how it was spent. This is things that we still need to do. Insurance has gone up in price. Insurance has done this. Insurance has done that. This is how, he lays it bare, and anybody who, whatever explanation he has given during that meeting, is not happy with his explanation, he opens his door that, come after this meeting, if you're not quite happy with the explanation or how things have gone, feel free to come into my office and let's discuss further. How many Nigerian churches, both here and in Nigeria, are willing to be as transparent as that? That's what I'm going to leave you to. And also, if you are being told to go and sell your blood for a certain church, you need to rethink your brain. In as much as I really want him to settle this issue, and just like he said that they should bring proof, that BBC should bring proof, it's alleged that BBC paid those people. I'm hoping BBC will watch that his news, and they will come up with something. But we did here to see. Anyway, guys, I only wanted to be here for like an hour or so. It's about 5 minutes past now. I'm going to head, and if you're watching this live stream again, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. Subscribe if you've not yet done so. Turn on your post notification. Share this video, and also our giveaway is tomorrow. Yeah, our end of the year giveaway is tomorrow. 500,000 naira is the cash we are giving away. And also, if you're still led to give us cash towards this giveaway, or if you want to sponsor part of this giveaway, if you want to say Thatmumof5, I'm going to chip in 100,000, feel free to DM me on my Instagram, Thatmumof5, or you can email me thatmumof5@gmail.com. Yes, I've got a Naira account. If you want to put some money into it, this money, it depends regardless of where you've entered it from. If you've entered from Ghana and you want, if it's PayPal, we'll PayPal the money to you. If you're in whatever country you are at, whatever the currency is there, we'll convert it and send the money to you. So that's how it's going to be done. So 500,000 naira giveaway cash is part of the money we're going to be giving away. And thanks so much to those who have sponsored this giveaway. I really appreciate you all. Like, God may continue to replenish your pocket. And like I said, if you're still led to add more money to our pot, feel free to DM me. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. UK time, you don't want to miss it. And come dress elegantly because we are going to be singing and be dancing. Yes, I'm trying to get some like Afro beats that YouTube will not copyright, but I've not been able to get some. But we'll see how we go about it. And bring a champagne and a glass of wine because we're going to be pop, 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 pop. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I need to go now. And thanks to each and every one of you who've watched me from the beginning till now. And if you've just joined me, if you have the time, please feel free to watch from the beginning. Share this video, subscribe, and I hope to catch up with you in my next video. And Vlogmas will be back tomorrow again. Yes, I will take this live stream as a Vlogmas. Yeah. Also, there's also another live stream later tonight. So if you're available, please kindly tune in, and I'll see you guys later. All right. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. I need to go to my hairdressers now. See you guys later. Bye.